Hello and welcome back to part 4 of Brett Keen's video.
Back to part 3 of Judgment Day for Christianity.
There we
Faith
go.
with his culture that he was dealing with.
Sorry, let me just pause this. Yeah, welcome back to part 4 of answering Brett Keen and his video, Judgment Day for Christianity, Faith vs. Logic.
Anyways, I think that's enough. Actually, and that they still go on today.
For a few years. Oh, now, with that same logic that you use for the killer who offers killers, rapists, and psychotic people, Moses was talking to fucking bushes, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, how could he actually be a real prophet or a real God or a man of logic and intelligence? He actually believed in demons, ladies and gentlemen. The man believed in demons. He didn't understand that people had sicknesses and diseases and conditions. He believed if you were sick, it was because you had a fucking demon.
No, you could see that these people, and that there are cases, and that they still go on today where people have demonic strongholds over them. Addiction is a good example of that. Is that no matter how hard with their willpower, they are just hammered down trying to get rid of that. Now, also, we need to understand that they didn't have all the medical terms, and so just saying that they had this demonic possession was a way of glossing over all the terms. Just as before we had specific names for each dinosaur bone, and each name for a dinosaur, they called them dragon bones. So he was just in tune with his culture that he was dealing with and his people in a way that they could understand and relate to. Anyways, I think that's enough. Actually, we'll hear what he says for the last 15 seconds.
Logic in that. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Feel free to make video responses if you want to correct me or you disagree with my point.
Okay, no problem. What I do have an issue with is you're asking questions not to hear answers, but simply to bother people. I answered you about Numbers 31, how in Numbers 25 it explains why it happened, yet you went and called a preacher about it. So are you asking questions not to seek answers, but just to bug people? This is a big problem I have, and I've noticed among atheists and even Muslims. If I get a good answer to questions I have about Islam, then I won't continue asking Muslims about it. They've answered me. That's it. But if I find that what they're saying is a lie and that it doesn't agree with the Quran, or the scholarly interpretation of the Quran, or because I go by what their scholars say, that's how the Quran says to interpret it, then I don't.
That's actually 3 verse 7 of the Quran, teaching on how to interpret it. Now, also, just a little side note is, I will notice people go into a room and they'll ask about the Trinity, saying how could God be 3 in 1. They get an answer from Christians, and then they go into another room and ask the same question by adding them to my list. I have noticed that, and I see Brett doing much of the same thing as like these tactics. Really, I've answered him. I gave him the answer when we debated. He changed the topic, meaning he got a sufficient answer to it. At least if you debate and somebody's answered you and you change it, that obviously indicates, okay, that topic's done. So he continued and persisted to bring it up to that pastor. And then he answered him, and I find it very unfair that you ask questions after the video, after you've hung up the phone with him, when you're editing it, you put questions in and lulls and smiley faces, which in itself isn't really a big deal, but I mean, that's like re-editing more questions into it. So he's answered you, and then you're just asking questions. How? He cannot possibly answer those. Unless, of course, he goes to your YouTube account, which is highly unlikely. So, really, I think I've done enough of this video. And Brett Keane, I challenge you to a debate. And a second time where we can do one-on-one, preferably in Pal Talk, but whatever. If you don't want to download it, or you're too lazy, or whatever the situation is, it's free. That's your business. Or your band, or I don't know. I'll go to Stickam. 5 minutes each. Fair time. One-on-one. Record it, and we will both post it on our YouTube accounts. Deal? Okay. That's enough. Anyways, see you later, guys. Bye.